Welcome everybody, this is How to English with Gav and Em.
It's a podcast about teaching and learning English as a foreign language.
All opinions stated are personal and source materials will be referenced where possible. Hi Em.
Hello, Gav.
How you doing?
Very well, glad it's Friday.
Yay! So
Sound a bit happier.
I'm really happy. I have a fantastic day and I'm really excited about this week's episode.
What's this week?
Well, before we even start this week, we need to talk about last week.
Sorry, yeah. Okay, what was last week?
Well, last week was self-care.
Yeah.
And maybe we just missed a couple of points.
Have you had some little tips or something?
We've had some feedback, but also it did occur to me that we didn't talk about sleep.
Oh, yeah, that's quite a big one, isn't it?
Yes.
It's very important.
So, yeah, just if we could just rewind, exactly, and get lots of sleep. That was what I would add to the previous episode.
Yes, so yeah, sleep, 7 hours, is it optimum?
Oh, I'd
8
say
hours?
8 if you can get it.
Yeah, which means what? It means making sure you sort of have a routine and you're not looking at your phone all night.
Exactly.
Checking messages, writing to students, whatever.
Yes.
And then maybe, like we said about timetable, if you're not a very good person, like if you're not an early bird, like if you're not a good person, but if you're not an early bird, maybe think about restructuring your timetable if possible.
Yeah, and not only for teachers, but also for learners.
Yeah, I didn't say one or the other.
You said something about teachers.
Oh, yeah, timetable. But timetables are for students as well.
Yes, your schedule. That's
but
it.
yes,
so look at your schedule and maybe include a nap during the day, especially in the summer, because it gets pretty hot.
Yeah, I still think getting those 8 hours at night, though, is the one you should go for.
I was just saying, plus a little nap, it could be good too.
Okay.
We have had a bit of feedback. So Arzubal said going running, and she's dabbling with baking.
Yes, she mentioned chocolate caramel tart. Oh my God.
Fruit pies.
And that is nice.
Crumble and pizza.
Yeah.
Which sounds absolutely delightful. Mouth-watering.
I'm drooling.
And I think we got something from English Journey podcast. So check them out if you don't know them. Self-care for them means making face masks.
Oh.
And listening to good podcasts.
That's a very good point, though. We didn't mention the masks. We got to mention the masks. If you're going out and about, if you're in companies or schools with lots of people.
Exactly, follow the guidelines.
Look after, guidelines, but even if there are no guidelines, because a lot of countries now are saying it's optional.
Okay.
And I think it's an important thing to wear it if you want to wear it.
That's your decision, I agree. Yeah, I'll probably keep wearing mine on and off.
I will, especially on public transport, even if nobody else is.
Okay.
I'm going to just be the one wearing it, because I'm going to protect myself and others.
Oh, okay. So that's it. That's a bit of advice.
It's only my opinion.
Yeah. Again, it's only our opinions. All right. Very good.
So yeah.
So as everybody already knows, this episode is going to be it's episode 29.
How does everybody
so excited because they've read the title already.
Oh yeah. I guess if you're clicking on it, you know what it is.
It is. Yeah. Exactly.
But it's a bit cryptic, isn't it? Our title.
It is. It's Q&A, questions and answers, with G and E, Gav and Em.
Q&A with G and E.
Yeah, that's an explanation.
And we haven't got a G and T.
No.
Yet. But
Okay.
it is Friday.
It is Friday. Not for some people. It could be. Could be any day of the week. I don't know why you keep saying it's Friday.
Mate, it's not Friday. Is it different in different countries on Friday? No, you
live.
mean people could be listening to this at any time of the week, on any day.
Exactly.
But I think right now at this moment it's Friday for everyone, isn't it? Oh, maybe not. If you're in Australia.
Oh, it's getting really complicated now.
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to all the Australian listeners if it's Saturday. Have a nice Saturday. Okay. So we're going to jump straight in. We've had plenty of questions.
And there are no bad questions, are they, Gav?
Never.
We should just mention that.
All questions are good questions. And in fact, we just got brilliant questions from
did.
all of our, I guess they're listeners, or maybe they just like the advert.
That'd be nice. Like, if you have a question, then listen to the answer.
That's good. Well, I hope they're tuning in. If they haven't tuned in, then, well, everybody else can enjoy the answers. But I'm going to start with Eliza Ferry. Apologies for the entire podcast for the really bad pronunciation of your handles online. Her question was, how do you encourage students to participate in classes and take part in learning? Have you got something for us?
Well, personally, I try to make the environment in the classroom, in the room, as engaging as possible, as fun as possible. It's a bit like when you create something that's so fun that nobody wants to not participate. Like, everybody wants to participate.
Ah, okay.
So it's like you're missing out if you don't participate.
So be big and loud and excited, full of energy.
Yeah, the energy thing, obviously the activity is quite important as well, but anything really, even if it's just a gap-filling thing, just put a little bit of personality into it so that there's some jokes, so that there's some conversation, so that you're all kind of having a fun time with it. And that is hard, you've got to create that as a teacher and get that energy going, but it's so like, if you've got that happening, nobody wants to sit back.
So if you believe it, then they will believe it.
Yeah, and just apply that to everything. Like, it doesn't have to be a boring exercise. I think, like, you've done techniques where you get students to nominate each other for answering questions.
Engagement.
You can do that in a fun way. Like, you can even make that in itself a game, so that there's a game within something, like boring checking answers
game
thing.
within a game. Oh, I like
well, yeah,
that.
like, I don't know, a word game where you've got to say a fruit, and the person who can't think of a fruit, the last person to think of a fruit, has to answer, the...
Oh,
something
okay.
Like that
Sounds really stressful, but okay. So we're sort of lifting the energy.
Yeah.
'Cause the words come to me like enthusiasm, energy. I do lots of sort of. I make sure when I pair students together or put groups together that they work well together. I think we talked about this before.
We did.
But just don't pair students who you know are not going to get on. Just if you want it to go well, make it easy for you, make it easy for them, prepare however you can, and think about the topics that you use as well. Has to be things that they're interested in, or you think you can generate enough interest in.
Yes.
But as you said, if you show that you're interested, there's a good chance they'll follow you.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, it works. And what you said about topics was good. Making sure, like, if you don't know the class very well, that's quite hard.
Yeah.
Can be tricky. Definitely, if you like it, that's good because you'll have the energy.
Yes.
What was the first thing you said?
First ever?
No, on that point, what was the first thing you said? Because I thought of something and I forgot
Enthusiasm, pairing, energy.
Pairing.
Groups.
Put people together that like each other. Games, that was it.
Yes.
I know we've said before, but get the games thing at the beginning to keep everyone, to connect everyone.
Okay,
So some
morale.
team building, bonding exercises.
Okay, yes.
And then I think you've got the sort of group as a whole.
I don't think we can overstate just how important it is to get the class working together. It's so important. And the final bit about learning, I still would say learning happens even if the student and the teacher are not really aware of these the mechanics of the brain absorbing the language and it's generating something exciting. But it does happen with lots of practice, and the teacher can always check that learning's happened. So they can go back and they can say, okay, so what was this, and just check those things. So don't spend too long sort of forcing the learning to happen, but it will happen, hopefully, around the activity. If you're having fun, there's lots of language in there, there's lots of interaction, and hopefully that's where it's going to happen.
Good point. Yep. Doesn't have to be the typical kind of learning situation. It can be anything like fun version.
Yeah, definitely. I've had a couple of questions that are kind of related. Jump for English has asked about professional development because we're coming up to sort of training time of year. And also Dr. Garner got in touch and wanted to get some ideas or tips on ELT development. So if I just mention a couple of things, there's ELT Journal from Oxford Academic.
What's that?
It gives free academic articles, resources for authors and researchers. There's loads of articles on there. There's also short videos and discussion, studies, researchers stuff. So that's a really good link.
Is it general academic or is it based on, like, is it for teachers?
It's for teachers.
For EFL teachers or any teacher?
For EFL, ELT, academics, anybody that's going deep into the learning on that. So that's really, really exciting. We'll put loads of notes in the
show notes.
Notes
in the show notes.
And also, there's just really lots of good links. One that I really like is the ihteachenglish.com. That's got loads of resources. I think they call it 11 useful online resources.
Okay.
And one of them includes National Geographic Learning Site, which has got webinars recorded on it. And it's so exciting and so interesting. Again, these topics are just fascinating for people.
Well, that's just a good resource, for anyone.
Yes.
Specific to teaching, I think the first one, that was...
Teaching can be on anything. It doesn't have to be just...
Oh, all right. Do you mean just learning about something new and then you can take that into the classroom?
You can. You could learn something from it. Exactly. Could be good for students, good for teachers.
Yeah. I think as well, training, attend workshops, training if there are any at the place you work, or even if there isn't, you can find them in other companies.
Yeah.
There are a lot of companies offer workshops for people that are not part of the staff.
You can probably sign up.
You might have to pay for it, maybe, but that's something. Do a Delta if you feel like it. Or a CELTA.
Yeah.
So CELTA or TOEFL. You've got TEFL and then you've got CELTA and then higher than that is Delta.
Exactly.
A bit pricey, but still it's good for development if that's where you want to go.
Exactly.
If you don't want to pay, then I would just recommend like peer observation, looking at other teachers. Ask your colleagues, ask them if they don't mind if you can come in and sit down in their lesson and just watch. Which is always great, and I've learnt so much from doing that. So observe as much as you can.
Definitely.
Listen to podcasts.
Yep.
Read books if you like it.
Definitely.
All that.
These are all really good tips, Em.
Good. Thanks, Gav.
Thanks for sharing them with us. That's what we're here for. Today, anyway. So,
what?
Have you got any questions?
What, from our listeners?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Andrea said, would like to know how much time she should study per week.
Okay,
to improve.
That's a very good question.
Her English.
Is that especially for beginners? I think Andrea wanted to know about that.
Okay, so Gav, what's your answer? How long is a piece of string?
Well, exactly. Well, I don't know. I quite like 15 minutes a day.
15, okay. Yeah. Where did you get that number?
I just made it up.
Right.
Well, I don't know. It's just like 10 minutes doesn't sound like long enough. 20 maybe is a bit excessive.
See, I've written down 30 minutes.
Oh, okay, so you've doubled up on me there.
I would say if you're at the beginning of a language, minimum 30 minutes a week, a day.
But what are we talking? We're talking about focused learning. Like this is my 30 minutes or my 15 minutes of only doing exclusive English learning. But maybe we need to consider. Oh, do you remember episode 26?
No.
We talked about time.
Yeah.
That might be a good one for Andrea to listen to.
Oh.
Because it's about like creating a routine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now this routine, it could include other things like, I don't know, follow your favourite influencer. So you kind of just go online, you go to YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, you watch a video, you read an article, suddenly you're doing learning.
Yeah, and you don't even realise.
You don't even realise.
That's it. So it doesn't have to be book open 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It can be go online, look on whatever you want, Pinterest, Instagram. Yeah, but I would definitely say like minimum 30 minutes, really.
Okay.
But it obviously, in an ideal world, it would be hours a day if you've got that time.
As much as you can, exactly.
Definitely, I think that's it, isn't it? It's that kind of cliche, as much as you can.
Yep.
And the more you do, the faster you'll learn. But what is it, like that number that people talk about? Is it 180 hours or something it takes to learn a level?
Okay.
I think it's about that. So break that down into whatever small chunks you want.
Yeah, I agree. And we're not only... Well, let's think about in the classroom or active learning with a teacher or with a student's book, however you're doing it. That's one part of your learning. But I still would really encourage students to read a book, read an article, go online, watch videos, listen to stuff. Just do as much as you can do. And even if you're only doing 30 minutes a day, it's pushing you in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's good. So thank you for that question. And another question was, we've actually got Johnny, who recorded, Johnny went to our podcast homepage, I think maybe using the app, and he recorded a question that he had. So let's listen to Johnny, and then we can answer Johnny's question. Ready?
Yeah.
Hello. Hey, my name is Johnny, and I found you from a Facebook group I made called Freelance Online English Teachers. Have you thought about having other teachers as guests? Maybe doing some sort of Q&A to kind of broaden your content and maybe let your listeners see how other teachers teach?
Aha.
So have we thought about having other teachers on our podcast?
That is such a really good suggestion.
Yeah,
We've talked about it.
We have.
And we have decided we should do that when we're going to do it. It's in the pipeline. Johnny, that is a brilliant question. Loads of people have reached out to us and asked to either be in the podcast or asked us to take part in theirs. There's loads of things happening in the near future. If other people are interested, then please get in touch with us, because we would like to do that in the coming undecided period of time. Exactly, because we really like to. Maybe a spin-off. We can have a little spin-off mini episode where we're interviewing other teachers and students. I don't think we should limit it at teachers, because I'd love to get feedback from students about their learning.
Righto. Sounds great.
Yeah, I can see your enthusiasm.
Well, you were the sort of more into the, I don't know. You were definitely the one that convinced me to do this. So.
I did, didn't I? I remember that, the first episode where you were like, what's going on?
Well, because you really hadn't told me what was going on.
That's true. And now you know. Are you going to continue?
Yeah, I love it. But,
okay.
It's takes a bit of time for me to get on board with these sort of things.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, definitely. It's something we're thinking about, and we hope to begin soon. All right. Excellent question.
Just give us time. Yeah. So, Gary Garbett asked about niches, which was an interesting question.
Niches?
How many niches do we have in teaching?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So by niche, do we assume that he's talking about what do we call it, this English for specific purposes?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Episode 2.
Yeah.
Okay, Gary, go back to episode 2, listen to that, and then come back to this episode and
we'll continue to say, well, I don't know, ESP, yes, English for specific purposes or special purposes.
Oh, do you remember there was one thing we forgot to mention in that episode?
What?
Tourism.
All right. Fine, Gav.
We
You've
didn't
said
mention
it
tourism.
Now. God,
Yeah.
you've been hanging on to that for a long
It's
time.
been quite a few weeks now.
Right, I think, niches, maybe ESP for specific
English
reasons.
for specific
But
purposes.
I was thinking of it in a more general way. I mean, I like the question because it is quite open.
It is.
I was thinking it might be more to, what are our possibilities for teaching? We can teach kids, we can teach business, we can teach in summer schools, we can teach online, intensives. We can teach exams. We can teach perhaps in regular schools if you've got the right qualification.
Abroad.
University if you want.
Yes.
So I think it's a very nice idea to think about that as a teacher, an EFL teacher. You can really go in a lot of directions. And I think it's good at the beginning of your teaching career to try a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And that helps if you've got maybe a quite demanding timetable that you just have to do it because you don't maybe have a choice, which is what happened to me.
Oh.
But it helped me then realise what direction I wanted to go in.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, I think I realised teaching kids was very demanding and I wasn't maybe the person for it and I didn't have the skill set for that. So I went in a more business English direction.
Is that your choice? I mean,
Yes, it was.
Sorry, I didn't mean, was that your choice? I mean, is that, coming back to Gary's question, the niches, is it really you do business or you do kids?
I don't know. I think it makes sense to do one or the other. Maybe some people can do both, but it's enormous amount of materials you need for them both, and they're very different. So I've definitely focused on my business materials.
Okay,
and looked
that's
at books
interesting.
and compiled things. Whereas if you're teaching kids, you really need a lot of stuff for that.
Yeah.
Very different stuff.
That's
Same
really...
with exam. Once you know the exam well, you can keep getting extra materials that help that exam. And I just think maybe that's the natural thing, that you focus on one thing. Maybe other teachers like to do them all again and just keep that variety going.
So either find your niche or be not flexible, kind of agile.
Maybe. What's your preference?
Adults, businessy, kind of. But I quite like students who just want to chat and want a bit of a challenge. That kind of thing.
So
just
you're like looking at higher level?
Yeah, sort of higher level ones. Yeah.
So I think, again, like coming back to whether you're freelance
I've tried
not.
teaching kids. It's quite hard.
Yeah.
But maybe, again, I'm not the person to do that.
And if you're freelance, you can pick and choose your students.
It's a good experience, though.
It is. Oh, absolutely. I think you have to try it to know if you like it and if you want to continue.
Yeah.
So I like that question. Niches, it's a good one.
I like it very much. I've got one from Noki, and he asks, how can I improve my pronunciation?
That is a very good question. Very common question.
Yep.
I think you've already said before, Gav, pronunciation is definitely connected to listening.
Episode 13. Go back to that one, Noki.
Ready with that?
I was ready, wasn't I?
God, you're so prepared today.
Yeah, it's coming straight from my mind. I've memorised everything.
It's not on that bit of paper. There's
no bit of paper.
All right. So definitely listen as much as you can.
Yes.
And even copy that when you're listening to something. Sing songs, repeat the part of the film you've just watched.
I like that.
That's really good for pronunciation.
That's good.
And I think there are so many YouTube videos that help you with pronunciation.
Yes.
If you want.
Really breaking down the sounds of English.
Yeah.
Okay.
How to make them.
Exactly. I wrote, I have actually written something. I wrote Colin's A to Z, but now I've forgotten what it was. So everybody go and have a look at Colin's A to Z.
All right.
If you want to improve your pronunciation. Also, I often say to students, choose your favourite person who speaks English and mimic and listen and practice speaking kind of similar to them, because then that's the accent that you'll get, or that's the voice that you're going to produce when you start speaking English.
Good
so
tip.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Also, so it could be a YouTuber, it could be a podcaster, you could be listening to storybooks. A lot of people just love storybooks, and I think it must subconsciously affect your pronunciation. You end up sounding like
audio books.
Yeah, what did I say?
Storybooks.
Audio books.
Right. Yeah, definitely. That's a good one.
You end up sounding like Stephen Fry, for example. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
That is good. Yeah.
Okay, so also learning how to break down words. Like I was thinking the word exaggeration, and when you see it written down, you need to think about, okay, let me break this word down into different parts. We've got exaggeration, and just take your time, slow it down, and then practice it, and then hopefully exaggeration, then you'll be able to say the words perfectly.
That is a very good example, but it's a good example of how it's difficult to know what the G sound is in that word.
That's true.
So if you didn't know how it sounded, you might think it was exaggeration.
Yes.
And that's why if you just Google how to say or how to pronounce exaggerate and you spell it out, there is going to be someone somewhere that said it, and it's usually a good little video.
That's true. There is on YouTube. If you type in how do I pronounce, and then you write the words, it gives you a little video and somebody repeats it. You can have American versions, you can have the British ones, you can have other accents. Really, really good
And
practice.
we said about dictionaries also have it there written down.
Online dictionaries usually have that.
But I like what you said. I think you do have to look at the words and start at least to try yourself to learn them and how you think they would sound and have a more of an instinct for it.
And I think often students encounter the word orally.
Orally with an A or orally with an O?
With an A.
Which is from your ears. Yeah.
They hear it first.
That's right.
And then they come across it maybe written. Maybe this isn't true, but I think often they will recognise the sound and then realise or recognise the written form later.
Well, possibly. English spelling is so hard that sometimes it isn't even recognisable.
Sure, okay.
But then
true.
you're right, those things do tend to connect together. Suddenly you think, oh, that's that word, I know that word now.
Exactly, yeah. Practice at home, record your own voice, do all of those things. Just practice speaking aloud will give you a bit more confidence with your pronunciation.
Okay.
Great, okay. There is another one from Noki. How can I understand TV and movies better in English?
Well, I think that kind of is the same idea, maybe. Just, subtitles.
Subtitles, although you do end up just reading the subtitles, but it must help a bit. Also, just don't stress if you don't understand everything. Just try to get a general idea of what's happening in the film or the TV programme. You can always rewind it.
Yeah.
But maybe trying something that's a bit easier, because there's an idea that you can develop your skills if you choose easier, slower audio or recordings or TV shows.
So what you mean, slow it down on your player?
You could actually just do that. Yeah, that's a good idea. If it's on YouTube, you can slow it down. Podcasts, you can slow down.
I think you can with most apps as well. If you're watching them on your computer, you can just put it on a slower speed. So that is a good
That's
thing.
another good question. Have you got any questions then?
I'm not sure if I've got any more. Have you got any?
I've got loads of questions.
Should we break this into 2 episodes, do you think?
No, we can do these really quickly.
Okay.
Had a question from... Was that another question from Andrea? She said about, should I have a native teacher?
I don't know. I haven't heard that one.
Andrea, no, you don't need a native teacher. You just need a good teacher. Okay, that was a good answer. And another one is from Anna. Have you ever taught natural conversation English? I think all our English is natural conversation. It's just like daily language that you use every day.
Well, I understand the question though, because I think at the beginning when I was teaching, I didn't really do much of the small talk at the beginning of the lesson. It was just like, hello everyone, how are you? Fine, thank you. Right, now we're going to start teaching. I'm going to start teaching you something.
Yeah.
So this is the book and this is the page and this is the grammar. Now it's like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes of what I'd call chit-chat.
Yeah.
Maybe guided chit-chat.
Yeah.
So it's more of an organic conversation that I'm kind of leading.
It's still very natural. I think
now it is, but it wasn't before.
Okay, I think the teaching style nowadays, most teachers, is quite natural, maybe compared to the past where people were very fixated on the books.
I have no idea.
All right.
How would you know how people... I mean, once you go in that room and close the door, who knows what's
Who knows
going
what
on?
happens?
We have no idea what's going on.
Okay, you're
So
right. I've got...
What?
Yep,
Can I just finish?
please finish.
I was just going to say, just natural conversation. Yeah, I've definitely changed my approach a bit more to make it feel like it's a conversation with a direction at the end. And,
Yes.
Even at the end, you kind of reveal, this is what we did. Look, everybody, you didn't even realise we were practicing get phrases. Ha ha. It's that kind of thing.
I like it. Okay, so that's good. Hopefully your teacher's going to give you very natural, everyday English. Okay, excellent. And then question from Peter. How long are you planning to teach English?
Should we answer that on 3? 1,
2, 3.
Forever.
Ages.
Okay.
Well, I've done about 15 years. I know you've done something similar. So, just it's a career choice. We're, I guess, no, I'm not going to talk for you. You tell us.
Yeah, I have no desire to change my job. I have no desire to move up the EFL ladder of becoming an ADOS or a DOS or whatever. I don't want my own business. I am really happy teaching every day students English.
I bet your students are really happy with you too.
I don't know. I hope
Okay.
that's true. But I love it. I love this job, and it's always something new and interesting. And English is a great language, I think, to study myself.
And I second that. Okay, and there is just one final question. I'm sorry, everybody, we'll finish in a second. The final question is from Gav. And he asks, tell us about your pen.
Is this you, Gav?
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, you want to know about my pen?
Yeah.
I could talk for a long time about pens. How much time have I got?
About 10 seconds.
No, I can't do it in 10.
Okay,
right,
give us your favourite pen.
Right, no, can't give you one. I've got 2.
Go,
Sorry.
go.
Okay, the Bic 4-colour. Can I say Bic? If you want to sponsor us, Bic, please do. I'm happy to receive free pens. Bic pen with 4 colours. It's got black and blue and green and red.
Ooh, fancy.
And it is, can I just... you can change the...
I know the type you mean.
You can change the colour as you go along.
Yep,
it's great
love it.
for any... I mean, not that I do a lot of marking, but I do like colours on my notes.
Okay, pen 2?
Pen 2 is erasable. I mean, it's just the best thing ever. It's an erasable pen. This particular one has a little dinosaur on it. Because you can't really... I don't know why, but they don't sell them in a kind of... in a grown-up version. I mean, not to say grown-ups don't like dinosaurs.
Okay.
But if I had the choice, I'd probably get it just plain. But I'm learning to love the little
That's
dinosaur.
wonderful.
It's got a little dinosaur on it.
Okay,
But the point is you can write it and then it rubs out and you don't have to
That is very
use
clever.
lots of paper.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so if anybody's listened to the end of this episode, then thank you for still being here and listening to us. And thanks, Em, for telling us about your pens, because I think possibly that was the highlight for me.
You did ask, Gav.
Yeah. Little dinosaurs. They're so cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. So thanks, everybody. We really appreciate all the questions. We hope we've answered them all.
I enjoyed it. Really nice to hear what people...
I know. I
have.
can't believe the love we're getting with these questions. It's absolutely brilliant.
Great. It's really good.
So thank you to everybody, and we'll be back next week with another episode of
How to English.
Teach and Learn with Gav
and Em.
Thanks.
See ya.